Hey everybody, Dr. Judice here. Just want to shoot out this quick video before we go home for Thanksgiving. Um, First off, I want to talk about an article that came out in a little journal called Progress in Cardiovascular Diseases. And this is titled, Nutraceuticals have a potential for boosting type 1 interferon response to RNA viruses, including influenza and coronaviruses. So this is a really in-depth immunology type of article, and basically what it comes down to is they've got several great findings in here that I'm sure this will never end up in the media, but it says high dose glucosamine supplementation activates something called mitochondria activating antiviral signaling protein, which ultimately lends towards protection against viruses, which is pretty cool. So what's high dose glucosamine? They didn't give guidelines on that, but typically when we use glucosamine for joint type things, we're gonna be using somewhere around 1,500 milligrams a day. So that could be divided doses of 500 times 3, but glucosamine is totally fine to take all at once, in one dose, take 1,500 at a time. It's interesting where they don't go into the mechanisms, but from what I know about glucosamine supplementation is it doesn't really act like a precursor to making joints, joint cartilage and things like that. It acts more like a epigenetic signaling agent where it communicates with the cells to let them know to unload this cascade of events, and ultimately we would use it for musculoskeletal conditions to repair for joints. But in this case, it's fairly nonspecific because the immune system is going to do what it does based on those signals. So it's a pretty cool application, and it's a really good use of glucosamine, and there's not much downside to it at all. Maybe a little cost. But some other recommendations that they have on the nutraceutical side of things were things that we've talked about for years for antiviral strategies, but now this reinforces it. So we have alpha lipoic acid, which at a fairly high dose, they mentioned 1,200 to 1,800 milligrams a day. That's not something you want to just go for the first time around. You want to start with a low dose of alpha lipoic acid, maybe 100 milligrams 2 times a day, something like that, and build up to it, because it can give some GI symptoms and can cause some detoxification of mercury, and you can get side effects from that. The second thing that we've talked about ad nauseum is NAC, or N-acetylcysteine. Incredible product. They recommend 1,200 to 1,800 milligrams a day, but I've seen other studies that go up to almost 5 grams per day. And it's very safe, it's very inexpensive to do. Most people can tolerate that unless you're very sensitive to sulfur. Selenium. This has been talked about in the virus world, especially through Asia. It actually cures several other weird Chinese type of viruses. Dosage, pretty light, 50 to 100 micros per day, and you can typically get a capsule of that for 200 or so, some less, but it's a pretty good dose. And they also mention some of the polysaccharides, some of the structures that are carbohydrate based that appear naturally in seaweeds and mushrooms. And we know that with mushrooms there's some other benefits to stimulating the innate immune system as well. So those are going to be some of the medicinal mushrooms that we use, like the reishis and things like that. So really cool. Anyhow, it is Thanksgiving time, and it doesn't seem very festive yet. What you want to start thinking about for yourself, health-wise, if you're not in control already, is somebody's at my front door. Is start thinking about 2021 with regards to how you're going to finish your year going into 2021. With regards to things like your total toxic load, right? So we're encountered with dozens, thousands of chemicals each day. Some of them your body gets rid of effectively, some of them has a hard time with, especially some of these man-made chemicals. There's no natural mechanism to get rid of some of these things in plastics. So we've got these plastic xenoestrogens and things like that building up in our system. There's no way to avoid them completely, but what you need to start thinking about is, how do I detoxify these things better? So total toxic load minus your ability to detox is your toxic burden. So what can you add, what can you subtract heading into 2021? Is it time to do a detox? I think it's a great time to do a detox. Heading between Thanksgiving and the rest of the end of the year holidays, perfect time to do a detox. Other quick update in the office, people who submit their insurance for their visits that we've in the past done electronically, we no longer find it efficient to do it or effective to do it that way because they basically play games, say they didn't get them. It's also an unnecessary expense for us to deal with, especially now. So our system has been updated so that after each visit, we can click the form where you can get either a super bill or a CMS form emailed to you immediately. You can take that form and submit it to your insurance company in real time, and it's going to work out a lot better for us. So if you're the type of person who wants to submit to their insurance, you need to, 1, verify that your insurance has out-of-network benefits for chiropractic care. 2, give us the card. 3, let us know that you want to do so, okay? Anyway, have a great Thanksgiving. We'll do some more recommendations coming up soon in the next week or two.